Hey everyone, Elizabeth here. The Last Laugh delivers stories that leave you speechless. If you're here for it, hit subscribe and let's go. The call from my property manager came at 7 a.m. on a Saturday. Elena, we have a situation, Tom said, his voice tense. Your beach house in Oceanside. Someone's living there. I sat up in bed in my San Diego apartment, suddenly very awake. What do you mean someone's living there? I drove by yesterday for the monthly check, and there were cars in the driveway. Lights on. Music playing. When I knocked, a woman answered and said she was family. Said you gave permission. My stomach dropped. What woman? She said her name was Christina. Your cousin? My cousin Christina. Of course. I didn't give anyone permission, I said slowly. How did they get in? Lock wasn't forced. They had a key somehow. Elena, they've been there at least a week based on the mail I saw. What do you want me to do? I can call the police. No, I said quickly, my mind already working. Not yet. Let me handle this. I hung up and sat there, staring at my phone, rage building slowly in my chest. The beach house. My beach house. The one I'd bought 3 years ago with money from my software company. The property I'd worked 70-hour weeks to afford. The investment that represented everything I'd built from nothing. And my family had just moved in. Without asking. Let me explain something about my family. The Rodriguez clan operated on a simple principle: what's Elena's is everyone's, and what's everyone's is definitely not Elena's. Growing up, I was the smart one, which was code for the one we expect to fund everyone else's dreams. When I started my software development company at 25, my family's reaction wasn't pride, it was entitlement. Now that you're successful, you can help your cousin Miguel with his business idea, Mom had said at Sunday dinner. Miguel's business idea was a food truck that he'd never actually started, despite the $5,000 loan I'd given him 4 years ago that had never been repaid. When I bought the beach house in Oceanside, a beautiful 3-unit property with ocean views, my family's response was predictable. A beach house? Aunt Sophia had exclaimed. Perfect for family vacations. It's an investment property, I'd explained. I'm going to rent out 2 units and use the third occasionally. But family should be able to use it, Christina had said, pouting. What's the point of having a beach house if you don't share it? The point is that I own it and I pay the mortgage, I'd replied. That conversation had been 6 months ago. I'd been careful after that, changed the locks, gave keys only to Tom, my property manager, and kept the address private in family conversations. Clearly, that hadn't been enough. I called Tom back. Don't do anything yet. I'm coming up there today. But I need you to do something for me first. Name it. Call the city building inspector. Tell them we need an occupancy inspection for all 3 units. Tell them it's urgent, potential code violations, unauthorized occupancy, safety concerns. Can you get someone out there next Saturday? There was a pause. Elena, what are you planning? An education, I said. In property law and boundaries. Tom chuckled. I'll make the call. The inspector, Mark Chen, owes me a favor. I can probably get him there Saturday morning. Perfect. And Tom? Don't tell anyone I know about this yet. As far as my family is concerned, everything is fine. You're devious. I like it. I spent the next week planning. First, I called my lawyer, David Kim, who handled my business contracts. They're squatting in your property? David's voice was incredulous. Elena, that's criminal trespassing. You can call the police right now. I know. But I want to do this differently. I want them to understand exactly what they've done, in front of witnesses. You're going to make an example of them. They've been taking advantage of me for years. Every family gathering, it's Elena, can you loan me money? Or, Elena, can you invest in my business? Or, Elena, why are you so selfish with your success? This time, they crossed a line. David was quiet for a moment. What do you need from me? I need you on standby next Saturday. If this goes the way I think it will, I might need legal backup. You got it. And Elena? It's about time you did this. Next, I did some reconnaissance. I drove up to Oceanside on Wednesday evening and parked down the street from my property. Sure enough, there were 4 cars in the driveway. Through the windows of the main unit, I could see people moving around. Music floated out into the evening air. My cousin Christina was on the deck, drink in hand, laughing with someone I didn't recognize. My uncle Marco was grilling on my deck furniture. Someone had set up string lights that I definitely hadn't installed. They'd turned my investment property into their personal vacation home. I took photos. Lots of photos. Then I called Tom. How many people are we talking? He asked. At least 8. Christina, Uncle Marco, Aunt Sophia, and some people I don't recognize. Probably Christina's friends. Jesus. Elena, they're having a party. I know. And they're about to have a much bigger one. Friday night, Christina posted on Facebook. I saw it because we were still friends on social media. I hadn't blocked family yet, though that was clearly an oversight. The post showed her on my deck at sunset, wine glass raised, big smile. The caption read, "Living my best beach life. So grateful for family who shares their blessings. Come visit us at our beach house tomorrow. Party starts at noon. Beach with umbrella sun tropical drink our beach house." She'd tagged 20 people and included my address. I screenshotted it. Then I texted Tom, "They're having a party tomorrow at noon. Inspector Chen should arrive at 12:30. Perfect timing." His response, "This is going to be spectacular. I'll be there with popcorn." Saturday morning, I woke up early and dressed carefully. Professional but casual, jeans, a blazer, expensive sunglasses. I looked like someone who owned beachfront property, which I did. I called David at 10 a.m. "I'm heading up there now. Be ready." "I'm already on my way. Wouldn't miss this." I arrived in Oceanside at 11:30 and parked a block away. The party was already in full swing. Cars lined the street. Music pumped from outdoor speakers, my speakers, probably. The smell of barbecue filled the air. I could see at least 20 people in my backyard. Christina was playing hostess in a bikini, directing people to drinks, laughing loudly. Uncle Marco manned the grill. Aunt Sophia sat in a beach chair like she owned the place. None of them had paid a single dollar toward the mortgage, property taxes, insurance, or utilities. But they were all enjoying it like it was theirs. I texted Tom, in position. "Where's the inspector?" "Pulling up in 5 minutes. This is going to be good." David arrived and parked behind me. He got out, professional in slacks and a polo shirt, carrying a leather folder. "You ready for this?" he asked. "I've been ready for years." At exactly 12:30, Tom's truck pulled up, followed by a city vehicle with "Building Inspector" on the side. Mark Chen stepped out, clipboard in hand, looking official and serious. "Showtime," I said. David and I walked up to the property together. The party noise was deafening. Nobody noticed us at first. Then Christina saw me. Her face went from tanned and happy to pale in seconds. "Elena. Oh my God. What are you doing here?" Every conversation stopped. 20 faces turned to look at me. "I own this property," I said calmly. "The question is, what are you doing here?" Uncle Marco stepped forward, spatula in hand, his smile forced. "Elena. Mia. We were going to tell you. We just needed a little vacation, and we knew you wouldn't mind. Actually, I do mind. You broke into my property without permission." "Broke in?" Christina laughed nervously. "Don't be dramatic. We're family. Family shares. You have this big beautiful beach house and you never use it. Because I rent it out. This is an income property. You've cost me thousands of dollars in lost rental revenue." Aunt Sophia stood up, her voice sharp. "Don't be selfish, Elena. You have plenty of money. We just wanted a few weeks at the beach. Is that so wrong?" "Yes," I said flatly. "It's called trespassing." That's when Tom and Inspector Chen approached the deck. Chen's presence immediately changed the energy. People recognized official authority when they saw it. "Excuse me," Chen called out, his voice carrying. "I'm Mark Chen, City Building Inspector. I need to speak with the property owner." "That's me," I said, stepping forward. "Elena Rodriguez." Chen checked his clipboard. "Ms. Rodriguez, we received a report of potential occupancy violations at this address. Multiple unauthorized residents, possible safety code violations. I need to conduct an immediate inspection." Christina's face went from pale to gray. "Inspection? What inspection?" "This property is zoned for specific occupancy limits," Chen continued, addressing the crowd now. "Each unit has a maximum occupancy of 4 people. I'm counting." He paused, scanning the party, at least 20 individuals on site. "Additionally, this property requires owner approval for all residents. Can anyone here provide documentation of owner-authorized occupancy?" Silence. Chen looked at me. "Ms. Rodriguez, did you authorize any of these individuals to occupy your property?" "No," I said clearly. "I did not." "Then this is unauthorized occupancy. Everyone needs to vacate immediately, or I'll have to call the police for trespassing." Uncle Marco tried to salvage the situation. "Now wait a minute. We're family. Elena, tell him we have permission." "You don't have permission," I said. "You never asked for permission. You found out where my property was and decided to help yourselves." Christina's voice turned pleading. "Elena, please. We just wanted a vacation. You're never here. What's the harm?" "The harm?" I pulled out my phone and started listing. "Lost rental income of approximately $4,500 for the 3 weeks you've been here. Utility costs you haven't paid. Property damage I can already see, those string lights you installed created holes in my siding. The wear and tear on furniture and appliances from unauthorized use. And the liability exposure from having 20 people on my property without insurance coverage. David stepped forward. I'm Ms. Rodriguez's attorney. What you've done is criminal trespassing and possibly breaking and entering. How did you obtain keys to this property? Christina looked at her shoes. I took Elena's keys at Christmas and made copies. Just in case of emergencies. That's theft, David said flatly. An unauthorized key duplication for the purpose of property access is a crime. The party guests were starting to back away, clearly not wanting to be part of whatever legal situation was unfolding. One woman I didn't know spoke up. Christina, you said this was your family's beach house. You said we were invited. It is our family's, Christina insisted desperately. Elena's family, so it's mine, I interrupted. I bought it. I pay for it. And none of you have any legal right to be here. Inspector Chen cleared his throat. Ms. Rodriguez, I need to conduct a full inspection of all 3 units. Given the circumstances, I'm also required to red tag this property for unauthorized occupancy until violations are cleared. Red tag? Aunt Sophia's voice went shrill. What does that mean? It means the property is temporarily uninhabitable until Ms. Rodriguez certifies that unauthorized occupants have been removed and all safety issues addressed. Everyone needs to leave. Now. That's when Uncle Marco got angry. This is ridiculous. Elena, we're family. You're really going to throw your own family out? You threw yourselves out when you broke into my property, I said. We didn't break in. We had keys. Stolen keys, David reminded him. Which you used to enter private property without permission. That's textbook criminal trespassing. A younger guy I didn't recognize, probably one of Christina's friends, started grabbing his stuff. Dude, I'm not getting arrested over this. Christina, you said this was cool. Other guests followed suit, frantically gathering belongings. Within 5 minutes, half the party had evacuated. Christina started crying. Real tears, mascara running. Elena, please. I'm sorry. I made a mistake. Don't do this. Where are we supposed to go? That's not my problem. You should have thought about that before you stole from me. Stole? We didn't steal anything. You stole my property use. You stole rental income. You stole my trust. I looked at Uncle Marco and Aunt Sophia. All of you have been treating me like a bank account for years. Every family gathering, it's asking for money, asking for favors, asking for access to what I've built. And when I say no, I'm selfish. I'm forgetting my family. I'm being cold. Aunt Sophia stood up, trying to look dignified. We raised you to value family over money. No, you raised me to value myself so little that I'd let people take advantage of me. Well, that stops today. Inspector Chen was walking through the property now, taking photos, making notes. Ms. Rodriguez, I'm seeing significant occupancy evidence in all 3 units. Looks like they were using the entire property. All 3 units? I turned to Christina. You had people in the rental units too? She wouldn't meet my eyes. I walked to the 2nd unit and opened the door. Inside was a disaster, clothes everywhere, dishes in the sink, beds unmade. The 3rd unit was the same. You trashed my rental units, I said, my voice dangerously quiet. Units that were supposed to be rented out this month for $3,000 each. Tom appeared at my shoulder. Want me to document the damage? I can get you a full repair estimate by Monday. Please. I turned back to the deck where my family stood in various states of shock, anger, and defiance. Here's what's going to happen, I said. You have 2 hours to remove every single item you brought here. Anything left behind gets thrown out. Tom will be here to supervise and document. Once you're gone, I'm having the locks changed on all 3 units. Again. Elena, Uncle Marco tried. I'm not finished. The damage to these units will be assessed. You'll receive a bill. If it's not paid within 30 days, I'll file a civil suit. Additionally, if I ever find any of you on this property again without my explicit written permission, I will call the police and press full trespassing charges. Am I clear? Christina was full on sobbing now. You're going to sue your own family? You burglarized your own family, I shot back. So yes. A car door slammed. I turned to see my mother getting out of a vehicle I hadn't noticed arrive. She must have been at the party. Elena Maria Rodriguez. Mom's voice could shatter glass. What is the meaning of this? The meaning is that your family broke into my property and I'm removing them. They're your family. How can you be so cruel? How can they be so entitled? I countered. Mom, I bought this property with my own money. Money I earned building a business from nothing. They stole keys, broke in, and have been living here for 3 weeks without asking, without paying, without even telling me. And I'm the cruel one? Mom's face was red. We share in this family. That's what family does. No, Mom. I share. You all take. There's a difference. I pulled out my phone and started scrolling. Want to know what else I share? The $5,000 I loaned Miguel that was never repaid. The $3,200 I paid for Aunt Sophia's car repairs. The $8,900 I spent on Christina's credit card debt last year that she promised to pay back. The $12,000 I've given you and Dad over the past 3 years for emergencies that you've never paid back. I showed her my phone screen, a spreadsheet I'd been keeping for years. $29,100, I said. That's what I've shared with this family in the last 3 years. Not counting the rental income I've lost this month, which is another $10,500. So don't talk to me about sharing. Mom's mouth opened and closed. She had no response. Inspector Chen approached with his completed paperwork. Ms. Rodriguez, I'm red tagging all 3 units for unauthorized occupancy and safety violations. You'll need to clear the property, have it professionally cleaned and inspected, and file a clearance request with the city before you can rent again. Here's your documentation. He handed me an official form with the city seal. Perfect. I turned back to my family. You heard the inspector. Everyone out. 2 hours. Christina tried one more time, grabbing my arm. Elena, please. I'll pay you back. I swear. Just don't ban us from your life. We're family. I removed her hand gently but firmly. Christina, you had a key to my property that you stole. You used it to break in. You lived here for weeks without permission. You threw a party and invited strangers to my home. And now you want me to believe you'll pay me back. I will. I promise. Your promises mean nothing. Not anymore. Aunt Sophia tried a different approach, her voice going soft. Elena, Mija, you're angry now. I understand. But don't make decisions you'll regret. Family is forever. Boundaries are also forever, I said. And I'm finally learning to set them. Uncle Marco went for intimidation. You're going to regret this. Wait until the whole family hears what you did. No one will speak to you again. Good, I said simply. That will save me a lot of money. His face went purple with rage. You ungrateful little. Careful, David interjected smoothly. Threats against my client in front of witnesses, including a city official, are taken very seriously. Uncle Marco backed down, muttering under his breath. The next 2 hours were chaos. My family stomped through the property, grabbing belongings, slamming doors, shooting me hateful looks. Several of Christina's friends apologized to me on their way out. Apparently, she'd told them the house belonged to her family jointly and everyone was welcome. Tom and I walked through each unit, photographing damage. Stains on the carpets. Scratches on the hardwood floors. A broken chair. Dishes missing from the kitchen sets. A cracked mirror. We're looking at about $3,800 in repairs and replacement costs. Tom estimated. Plus the deep cleaning, which will run another $600. And you lost 3 weeks of rental income on 2 units. Send the bill to Christina, I said. All of it. By 3 p.m., the property was empty. My family had left in a convoy of cars, several of them flipping me off as they drove away. I stood on the deck overlooking the ocean, David beside me. You okay? He asked. I'm better than okay, I said. I'm free. The fallout was immediate and spectacular. The family group chat exploded. I was called every name imaginable. Selfish. Cruel. Heartless. A traitor to the family. My mother left me a voicemail calling me dead to her. My father texted, "How could you embarrass us like this?" Christina posted a long Facebook rant about toxic family members who value money over relationships, without mentioning that she'd literally broken into my house. I blocked them all. Every single one. Then I changed my phone number and gave it only to people I trusted. The city inspection clearance took a week. I paid for professional cleaning and repairs. Total cost, $4,400. I sent Christina an invoice via certified mail, $14,900. Lost rental income, repairs, cleaning, and legal fees. She never paid. I filed a civil suit. She didn't show up to court. I won a judgment by default. Her wages are now being garnished. She'll be paying me back for years. 3 months later, I got a letter. Not from Christina, but from my youngest cousin, Maria, who'd always been kind to me. Elena. I wasn't at the beach house party. I heard about it from Christina, who's still telling everyone you're the villain. But I also heard the truth from someone who was there. I'm sorry they did that to you. I'm sorry our family has treated you like an ATM. You didn't deserve any of it. I know you've blocked everyone, and I understand why. But I wanted you to know that not everyone thinks you were wrong. You set a boundary. A big one. And it was long overdue. If you ever want to talk, I'm here. No agenda, no favors to ask. Just family who actually cares about you. Love, Maria. I read it 3 times. Then I saved her number in my new phone. Maybe not all bridges needed to burn. 6 months after the beach house incident, I sat on my deck, watching the sunset with a glass of wine. The property was fully rented. Both rental units had long-term tenants paying market rate. My bank account showed healthy rental income every month. I'd taken a vacation here last month. Alone. It was peaceful. My business was thriving. Without the constant drain of family loans and emergencies, I'd actually been able to save money. Real money. Investment money. My phone buzzed. A text from Tom, new rental application for Unit B when the current tenant moves out. Great references. Want me to process it? Yes, I replied. And Tom? Thanks for everything. Anytime. You deserve a family that appreciates you. Until you find that, you've got me. I smiled and went back to watching the sunset. Some people would say I was too harsh. That family deserves second chances. That blood is thicker than water. But those people never had their family break into their home. Those people never spent years being used and dismissed. Those people never had to learn that sometimes, the strongest thing you can do is walk away. My beach house was mine. My success was mine. My boundaries were mine. And I was finally okay with that. Have you ever had family treat your property like it belonged to them? How did you handle it? Share your experience below.